Silence sharpens words. When an East Asian man speaks rarely, his voice becomes a weapon.
Opening. The paradox. While everyone else is fighting for attention, posting their lives online, desperately trying to be heard, there's someone in the corner of the room who barely says a word. And yet, people lean in when he speaks. They remember his name. They feel different after talking to him. He's not the loudest, not the most charismatic, not even the most attractive. So what's happening here? Today, I'm decoding the psychological warfare Sigma males wage on reality itself and how they reprogram minds without anyone noticing. Value drop number 1, the silence weapon. Most people are terrified of silence. They fill every gap with noise, jokes, and explanations. The Sigma? He weaponized the pause. Here's what's happening in your brain during those 3-second silences. Your mind races to fill the void. You start projecting meaning onto him. You wonder what he's thinking. And in that wonder, that uncertainty, you've already given him your attention. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect in reverse. While alphas demand the spotlight, sigmas create a vacuum that pulls your focus toward them. The technique? After someone asks you a question, pause for 2 to 3 seconds before responding. Watch how the energy in the room shifts. Watch how people start leaning forward. You're not being rude, you're being deliberate. Value drop number 2, the contradiction principle. Here's where it gets fascinating. Sigma males master what behavioral scientists call strategic inconsistency. One day, he's deeply philosophical. The next, he's cracking dark jokes. He'll help a stranger, then completely ignore someone seeking his approval. He's warm, then distant, engaged, then detached. Your brain hates contradictions. It needs to categorize people into neat boxes. He's nice, he's cold, he's friendly, he's aloof. But when someone defies categorization, your brain goes into overdrive, trying to figure them out. And what do we do with puzzles? We become obsessed with solving them. Value drop number 3, the approval reversal. Most people are approval-seeking machines. Every conversation is a transaction. Do you like me yet? How about now? The Sigma flips the script entirely. He doesn't need you to like him. In fact, he seems genuinely indifferent to whether you do or not. And here's the mind-bending part. This makes people desperately want his approval. Robert Cialdini's research on influence shows that we value what's scarce. When someone doesn't freely give their validation, their approval becomes a prize worth winning. The shift? The Sigma isn't rude. He's just authentically unbothered. He's not playing hard to get. He genuinely doesn't need to get got. And that authenticity? It's magnetic. Value drop number 4, the observer effect. While everyone's performing, competing for laughs, status, attention, the Sigma is watching. He's reading the room like a chess grandmaster reading the board. He notices who interrupts whom, who seeks validation from whom. The group dynamics, the power plays, the insecurities masked as confidence. And because he's not consumed with his own performance, he sees what others miss. When he does speak, it's surgical. He addresses the unspoken thing everyone felt, but nobody said. That's exactly it, someone says, relieved. He didn't just join the conversation, he elevated it, and everyone felt it. Value drop number 5, the presence paradox. Here's something most miss. Sigma males have mastered physical presence through absence. They're not omnipresent. They don't show up to everything. They're selective about where they invest their energy. And when they do show up, everyone notices. Psychologically, this triggers what researchers call the scarcity principle combined with event significance. When someone is always available, always present, always accessible, they become background noise. But when someone appears deliberately, chooses specific moments, their presence becomes an event. The principle, Your presence should be a gift, not a guarantee. Not to be manipulative, but because your time genuinely matters. Value drop number 6, the validation drought. In a world drowning in performative validation, likes, comments, "you're amazing" from people who barely know you, the Sigma offers something radical, honest indifference. Not cruelty, not negativity, just authentic neutrality. He won't validate your ego just because social convention says he should. He won't laugh at your joke if it isn't funny. He won't agree with you just to keep the peace. And bizarrely, this makes his rare moments of genuine praise incredibly powerful. When someone who doesn't freely dispense compliments finally gives you one, you believe it. You treasure it because you know he means it. Value drop number 7, the mystery maintenance. Most people are open books within 10 minutes. Their Instagram tells their life story. Their conversation reveals their insecurities, dreams, relationship status. The Sigma, he reveals himself in layers. And not strategically, just naturally. He doesn't overshare because he doesn't need external validation through confession. This creates what psychologists call information asymmetry. You know some things about him, but never everything. There's always another layer. And humans are wired to pursue incomplete information. Netflix calls it the binge effect. We can't stop when we're 80% through the story. The practice? Share authentically, but selectively. Not everything needs to be said. Some depths are discovered, not announced. Value drop number 8, the emotional fortress. Here's where Sigma psychology gets deep. While others are emotional reactionaries, triggered by criticism, inflated by praise, destabilized by rejection, the Sigma maintains internal equilibrium. Someone insults him, he's curious about it, not wounded by it. Someone praises him, he appreciates it, but doesn't need it. This isn't sociopathy, it's self-regulation mastery. And when you interact with someone who isn't emotionally reactive, something strange happens. You start questioning your own emotional volatility. Like, why am I so affected by this when he isn't? He's holding up a mirror without saying a word. Value drop number 9, the status blindness. Sigma males have a superpower. They're genuinely unimpressed by status signals. The CEO, the celebrity, the influencer with 1 million followers. He treats them exactly the same as he treats the janitor, with basic respect and authentic disinterest in their title. This does something fascinating. It neutralizes others' status weapons. When someone's power comes from status and you don't acknowledge that status, they have no leverage over you. They can't intimidate you. They can't impress you. They can't buy your validation. And often, they end up seeking yours. Value drop number 10, the comfort with discomfort. Most people will contort themselves into pretzels to avoid social discomfort. They'll agree when they disagree, laugh when they're not amused, stay when they want to leave. The Sigma has made peace with discomfort. He'll let awkward silences sit. He'll disagree without softening it. He'll leave when he's done, even if the party's still going. This comfort with discomfort gives him radical freedom. He's not controlled by social pressure because he's genuinely okay with people being uncomfortable with him. And paradoxically, this makes people more comfortable around him in the long run because they sense they can be authentic too. Value drop number 11, the long game mindset. While everyone's optimizing for immediate reactions, the quick laugh, the instant like, the short-term win, the Sigma is playing a different game. He's thinking in years, not moments. He doesn't need to win this conversation. He doesn't need to be right in this meeting. He doesn't need to impress at this party. He's building something deeper, a reputation for reliability, depth, and substance. And while others peak quickly and burn out, he compounds. 5 years later, people remember him, trust him, seek him out, because he never needed their attention, which is exactly why he earned their respect. The reprogramming effect. So, what's actually happening when you interact with a Sigma? Your brain is being gently reprogrammed through contrast. You're used to people who seek approval. He doesn't. Fills silence. He embraces it. Perform constantly. He's selectively present. React emotionally. He's internally stable. Chase status. He's indifferent to it. Each interaction creates cognitive dissonance. Your expectations are violated. Your social scripts don't work. And in that confusion, your brain rewrites its algorithms. Maybe I don't need to chase attention. Maybe silence is powerful. Maybe less is more. He hasn't told you anything. He's just shown you a different way to exist. And that's how minds get reprogrammed. The warning. But here's the critical thing. This isn't a manipulation manual. If you try to act Sigma to gain influence, people will smell the inauthenticity from a mile away. The real power comes from genuine internal development, actually becoming comfortable with yourself, actually not needing external validation, actually finding your own path valuable enough that others' opinions become just information. You can't fake this. You can only build it. The call to action. So here's your homework. For the next week, practice one thing: strategic silence. When someone asks you a question, pause for 3 seconds before answering. When there's an awkward silence, let it sit for 5 seconds longer than feels comfortable. Notice what happens. Notice how people respond. Notice how you feel. That's the beginning of the shift. Not from weak to strong, but from externally driven to internally anchored. The close. The Sigma doesn't try to influence you. He just exists so fully in his own frame that your frame starts bending toward his. That's not manipulation. That's gravity. See you in the next one.